There we go. Hey, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Happy new day. I am so excited to be here with you all. We're going to have a lovely guest come in by the name of Saint Jose Fuentes. And I'm really excited for him sharing his journey and what that looks like. And we're going to open some Q&A if we have time. Hello. Hi, primo. Hello, hello. Hello, everyone. All right, so let me make sure I send this live out to him as well so he could join us. And for those of you that is just coming in, please be sure to greet everyone in the building. Hi, Lula. Welcome. I am going to have a special guest come in. Okay, you didn't mean to. Okay. Well, I'm glad to see that the comments are working. Yeah, it does show a request. It's okay, love. I appreciate it. Primo, I see you requesting live also. I'm actually going to have I love you. I love you, Primo. I would have let you on if it was a different type of live, but I'm actually having a divine brother talk about his journey on this live. So if you're here later on, maybe we'll do some Q&A and I will let you on. I just want to honor the space, and I see it's just making everybody kind of like request to join. How are you, Dokazo? I love you. How you doing? Where are you? I really don't want to go live. I didn't know what I was agreeing to. Yeah, I guess it's just making everybody join. Hey, Joseph, do you join that? I don't want her to join. Let's not do that. All right, so it seems as if IG, are y'all hearing the ringing on my side in the background? I was hoping you would request so that it wouldn't do that live to me. Hey, there you go. How are you?
I'm on.
I don't see you, but I can hear you.
Because I don't see anything. Let's
Oh,
see.
okay, there you go. I see your logo.
Oh, okay. There we go. And there we are. All right. Let's
Yeah, you know what's so funny? I was gonna wear green earlier.
check.
Well, I wore green this morning, and then I was gonna wear green now, but my spirit told me to pick another color, so I did. Um,
There we go.
but yeah, I felt that vibes from you specifically. Yes. Um, so welcome. I'm so happy to have you back. I'm gonna take a sip of water real quick because homegirl, do you feel the vibes? Do you feel the vibes? It's a vibe.
For sure. That's a full blown fact. But take that.
Hello, Dunches. Hello, everyone. Welcome. So we have this lovely brother. Hello, Trina. Welcome everyone that is coming in. We have this lovely brother here who goes by Saint Jose Fuertes, but his name is Joseph. And so you're gonna, yeah. So you'll hear me referring to him as that just because I'm so used to calling him by his actual name. Um, Uh, he is such a beautiful soul. He's actually doing what I think he's doing, which is how I met him. So I'm going to actually share with y'all like a little bit of how I met him, and we're gonna go into his journey and what led to. I know a lot of y'all probably seen like semen retention and healing, and what is that? Some of y'all heard of it before, some of y'all haven't. This lovely soul over here. I remember the place doesn't even exist anymore. They shut it down. They shut it down. But what was the vegan place? What was it called again? Dandelion. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
We met Yes, we met at the Great Dandelion Cafe. Wow, I don't even know how many years back that was,
Yeah,
but
it's been some
this was
time now.
way pre-plan that makes stuff in the world. That was way before
Yeah.
then. And he was actually doing some artwork. He's a painter, he's an artist, he's so many things. He co-creates with spirit, right? And I just remember admiring, he was doing this beautiful goddess like painting, and it was just so beautiful. And yeah, so we exchanged information and we followed each other, and it's just been a vibe ever since. He's been on live quite a few times. He shared about his Choctaw like ancestry, and we were talking about so many different activations and healing. I know in the journey, he's like, wow, yeah, I remember. And I know I'm sharing a lot, but he's gonna be sharing like his journey, how this shit led to him even getting to this space. So I'm just kind of sharing like he's been on live before, and I know a lot of you are new. Y'all are just following me like maybe this year, so he's a new face to you. But I mean, he spoke about breath work. He did a little bit of hot bay with me in person. All his angels and his divine light and his higher self, his whole self, right? Like I don't believe in a separation of like higher self. Like that's a separation of the consciousness levels of our mind that we put ourselves. So like we are never separate from ourselves, really. And yeah, so he was just like vibing out, and I wanted to share all of that because every single time he has come on live, he has been able to contribute to not only the masculines that either tune in live or come back and watch the replay, but even females, even the women come back and like, wow, like they just his essence, his demeanor. I mean, y'all gonna feel it, y'all gonna hear it, y'all gonna vibe, and if y'all don't, then goodbye. Go find somewhere else to be. But no, but I'm just playing. I'm kind of serious at the same time because we have a serious portal going on. So I'm a little. I'm very activated right now. But hi Rosa, mi amor, beloved sister, welcome. So yes, that is the intro for this brother. Let me kind of allow you to. Uh, Say hello. What is it that you're working over there? Say hi to the people, and how's your day been?
All right, what's going on, guys? What a wonderful introduction. I appreciate you so. Thank you so much. You got me blushing. Man, I can't even remember when I remember meeting, but you talking about a painting and all that. I'm like, ooh, I don't remember none of that. Whoa, that's been some time. We getting old. Jeez. But yeah, the day's going good. Like I said, I'm just kind of slowing down for the quote unquote holiday season and all this and that. And right now, I'll go ahead and give a little preview of what I got going on. If you could, 10 cool points to whoever could figure out what this is.
That's Barney and the Apocalypse. No,
Yeah, that is Barney. And yeah,
no, wait,
comments
and
and
there's
whatnot.
a dog.
Nah, that's the other
Oh,
two. Well, it's gonna be
Land
the other
Before
two.
Time.
Nah,
A Land Before
that's
Time.
nah, Baby Bop and BJ, the green one and the yellow
I
one.
was right the first time. See,
Oh
listen to
yeah.
your intuition, y'all. Listen to your intuition.
So, so yeah,
Baby
that's what's
Bop
going
and
on.
BJ. Oh, that is so fucking cool, though. So it was Barney and the Apocalypse. Oh shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a series of preschool characters that we grew up with, just like they grew up with us. So to make it more realistic, or in like certain kind of more to do a dinosaur picture of Barney with the comets and all this and that just seems like it goes kind of hand in hand situation. So yeah, there's gonna be like Clifford and all the dog characters that we know, Blue's Clues and Kipper and all that is like a pack of dogs kind of situation going on. Uh, Bear in the Big Blue House is gonna be in a blue cave. Things like that is gonna be like a whole just natural looking series of that. So yeah, uh,
I
you
love
know
that.
that's not. I'm not gonna reveal that till probably next year. So hey guys, y'all got a whole little preview of that, and probably gonna forget about it by the time it comes out. So that's for you guys.
Oh,
Yay!
Let's ain't nobody gonna forget about it. Everybody's gonna remember it in divine time. It'll be like a divine activation. Pew! Open
For
up.
sure.
And it's a year from now. And they're like, oh, wait a minute. He has like these projects out here. Let me go check that out.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. Lula said that she was decoding purple dinosaurs just last week. So that's very interesting that yeah, are channeling the Barney dinosaurs and stuff. So let me ask you this, right?
Mm-hmm.
When it comes down to your artistry and being that we're going to be diving into like sensuality and sexuality and like what that is, how do you feel right now with your painting, your art, and your healing journey? Like how did your healing journey come first and then the art? Were you always into the artistry? Just to bring a background.
Well, wow. The thing is, it's like the artistry, the just art in general, it's like a whole spirit that grew up with me. I had, I come from a family of artists, so like, and I was the baby of the family. I was the run of the litter, and it was a point where I was like, everybody else was way better, and I'm trying to like play catch up. But as time went by, and I'm saying that like there was a whole bunch of time because we were still kids, but like every year somebody else has stopped being an artist, somebody else stopped drawing, somebody else stopped drawing. I'm just the one that just kept going, just kept going, just kept going, to where it's like I was shocked at everybody, to where it's like you guys feel like y'all have a choice. Like I can't, even if I wanted to. I mean, even to a point where in my senior year, I took an AP psychology class, and for some reason, my teacher was asking, like, they were mentioning something, and she asked, "So, like, Joseph, what would it take for you not to be an artist?" And I'm like, I don't understand what that question even means. And it's like, like, let's say, like if you lost your right hand, I'm like, I got another one. I'm like, well, let's say if you lose your hands, I got feet. Well, if you lost your hands and your feet, yeah, I'm like, I'll use my mouth. Something, I have to do this, and it's like, well, if you couldn't do that, and I'm like, well, what position would I be in? like I'm a quadriplegic. Well, I can't do anything. If I can't do art, I can't do anything. I'm sorry, but yeah, it got to a point where like a couple years ago, um, I was just seeing how like as an artist I'm so dedicated to it that I tried to forsake it. I tried to be a normal person for the sake of a relationship. And boy, did I pay for that so hard, to where it's like to be able to question, or to be able to say, oh, to have it like separated from myself is like nah. To where even incorporating it where you're saying that the art and the healing journey is like nah, the art is the journey, whether I know it or not, is going to reveal itself as the journey wholly and entirely. To where even you mentioning how somebody had decoded purple dinosaurs some time ago. Lately, every single painting that I have done for the last couple years, 2 years, because like this is a series that I'm really sitting on and like making sure that I stick on my P's and Q's and release at a it's very intentional, very intentional. Every single one of those paintings I painted has come to life in some way, shape, or form. Beyond my personal like attempt to do something with. Like it always showed itself tangibly in some kind of major way, and it's at a point where I told somebody about it, and it's like, oh, then you should paint like $1 million or something like that, and it's like it's not working like that, bro. I'm sorry. This is a a bigger conversation to where I feel like if I attempt to do something, especially something like vain or like that, it'll feel that um, disingenuousness, that secular train of thought. Like I just finished Zorro and Santa Muerte, and I finished that and just got done with a major funeral. So it's like, okay, you can't is this ain't nothing to play around with, and it's very real. So make sure if you're gonna do this do this for real, do it from your heart. You got to mean it, every single one. So even with this quote unquote Barney situation, I don't know if I'm going to see dinosaurs and nothing like that. I personally don't believe in dinosaurs, but if something relevant to this shows up, or if they make a Barney movie, then lo and behold. But yeah, if that answered the question in a very long-winded way.
No, that was great. That was beautiful. Thank you very much. So I'm definitely gonna have to see that Santa Muerte piece because I do tend to support local artists, and I don't have a piece of yours in my home. So that's one. And two, that's gonna be off. But anyways, um, I wanted to ask, do you feel like it's you, because like Lula said, great energy mover, and I love that. So do you feel like it's that you're channeling energies from like the future or just in general, just channeling and projecting and creating it? Or it's already in existence, or it's just your inner child, your imagination and your inner child kind of like exploring through energies of like how you interpret it?
Well, once again, in a long-winded way, because once you mentioned time and all that, I am like, for some reason, I have been all about the physics of time. I read this book, the Yoga of Time Travel. I
Mm.
can't tell you who wrote it, but man, look that book up. Oh my God. It has Shiva on it, and it's on a time barrier, and it talks about how um basically what I got from it is talking about how like the breath is connected to time travel, so to speak, because it's all a mental facade. Because the fact that our brains kind of are like the maze, and same way with the stomach, but where those are the mazes that trap us into the physical past, present, future situation that we're in. So in order to like get out of that, it's a matter of like dealing with the breath to where, uh, well, boy, it was like slowing down the breath slows down time, and like speeding up the breath speeds it up. The same way with light, light speeds up time because basically light is time, and gravity is like the net that traps it. And now that we have more and more like lights and smartphones and technology, more lights are in our reality, time is speeding up faster and faster and faster and faster and faster. But yeah, yeah, get off that point and stick to the point. Long-windedness. um I'm doing more to like move my mind to be in a state of like just observing time and being in a more timeless space. So I believe, to answer the question directly now, uh putting myself in that position and seeing things more like that in my dreams and whatnot, this is all, yes, it's all past, present, and future. It's all getting out that trap of being in those parameters and those archons, those bars, and uh, taking itself from things of my past, things that have yet to happen, things that I'm having a gut feeling about, and all revealing themselves in a fixed point while I paint. Because I figure, it's the process of it that really is like where the juice is for me, the creator of it. For other people, it has their own effects. But as I'm painting them, I have to do a lot of research, get a whole bunch of reference pictures and things of that to know the lighting and, the real anatomy of certain things and so on and so forth. And that just takes me on a journey in and of itself. But yeah, it'll be things that have like a relevance to where, oh, I'm doing it because I like this and that. And it turns out when I do the research for it, it's like, oh, this person wrote a book about it, or oh, this person is an actor that did this and they said that. And it's like, damn, I was just looking them up and so on and so forth. And like, whoa, hold up. Now I'm on a whole kick just because I wanted to know about, uh, like I have a Samoan, Hawaiian, Polynesian picture of like just all about tattoos. And I want to just, paint little scribbles on the skin just to show tattoos. But then I'm like, nah, let me learn about the actual meaning. And then that took me down a whole rabbit hole. So like things of
Mhm.
that nature would, occur to now Polynesian culture and seeing how that side of the world has spiritual symbologies and things of that nature to where I see them in real life and know that, okay, this place has this image that represents this, and I'm pretty sure they're associated with this guy, which means they're, associated with this and this and that. And I've been seeing that guy pop up a lot. But tangents and rabbit holes. Gee whiz, did that lay the gist of what was asked? Because I completely just kind of fell
No,
into.
you fell, and you rose. You answered the question. You rose to the occasion. You delivered.
Okay,
You took
cool.
people on a journey, right? And you kind of like
Yeah,
left them to all right, like either you come back to center with me, or you could explore from there yourself.
yeah,
I love that. I love how everyone's journey in connecting like spirituality and artistry and the creation, art is not separate from creation, right? It is a form of creating. That's essentially what you're saying. It's like, this is you. You've always been this creator. Like, your life is your canvas. There is no separation, but like you being the observer, the human, the all of this, and using um your left brain, right, the logic to balance out all the magnitude of symbols, right, the symbology of
oh
the
yeah.
right hemisphere and the synchronicities of it, and I love how you brought that up about like research, not just scribbling as far as like with the tattoo, but actually researching, because there is a lot of symbols. Like, our subconscious mind talks to us through symbols all the time, and um it's not until we gain the information, like we have the wisdom of it, but the knowledge part of it actually comes from like consciously learning about what is that symbology and what it might mean, right? So I really love that for you. So I kind of want to go backwards, because you was like, duh, that duh factor with the extra D at the end about that relationship that kind of like left you to kind of semi being a human that you didn't even know you exist in you, but like didn't feel wanting the same, but it is you, right? So in that space where like you was connecting with this individual, right? Um, can you share a little bit, as much as you're comfortable, right? Like,
Hmm.
what it was to kind of like, when did you feel like you was losing yourself? How did you lose yourself? Like, how did that actually look? To kind of getting back to space, like, did you ever really quote unquote find yourself after that? Are you still needing a new, like, are you did you find your old version or did you find a new version of you? Like, walk us through that journey and like with and including like the sexual journey with that. Like, did it cause you to want to have sex more, less? Did you feel like you couldn't channel as much with your art, or you were channeling more or less? Just kind of, I know I asked a lot, but just kind of giving you the floor so you could take it away.
Well, let's see. Um, I would say that I wish I could just go ahead and answer directly without having like a prelude to the answer. But I always felt like a old soul, like I've been here before, but it had to be like a long ass time ago because it's like I've never been comfortable with the world nowadays, but it feels like like I know how this works. I just don't know how y'all got shit nowadays. I don't understand this thing. So it's fun to like journey through it. And so in the relationship, there was a lot that I wasn't aware of. There was a lot that I haven't experienced. There was a lot that I didn't know. But I was always comfortable with being myself, and I always like had myself locked down on knowing like, okay, I have a pretty good idea of like how I am and how things are and how we can be and for us to build and da 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 da. And then there was things I'm like, okay, I also know I don't know shit about, uh getting my stuff in order as far as like, oh, credit or like, oh, I didn't know I can, do this and that and there's these things, this and that, just the day to day um
I don't know. I don't know what this and that is. I don't know.
the everyday adulting, shall we say. Like there was things that, that I was learning with this person that they've been, they were way more experienced in life than me. But you know, it was like, all right, you're on this end of the spectrum. I'm on, this spiritual end of the spectrum, even though that person is too, and that's why I related so much. But it's like, okay, things can, be what they are. It's all good. There's a established kind of relationship, so to speak. And then, yeah, there was more. The thing was like I never received love and gave it before. So like the more I was with this person, the more it was like, wow, like finally I could relate to somebody, like, they accept me and this and that, da 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 da, da to where, hell, sex, boy, oh boy, it was great to know that, hey, all day, it don't, if we got the time, that's no problem. Like, it was great. But, I would say that it got to a point where I started to lose myself as far as like feeling that new experience, that new sensation of like just having somebody to bounce back off of. I'm a pleaser. Like I like having people have a good time. So it got to a point where, I'm making sure that this person's okay. Like, um, you need a place to stay. Okay, come stay with me real quick. Da 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 da. Oh, you need a ride here. Well, I didn't have a car. When I did have a car, my car is not running too hot. But da 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 da. It's always like I'm giving myself to this person immediately, no problem, no question. To where like I didn't have enough time to be an artist. But that's okay because a relationship, it's a give and take thing. Da 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 da. And art kind of fucked me over anyway because I didn't get to where I wanted to be or like the opportunity I did have. I gave it up for this person actually. But yeah, it was a lot of, oh, it's for this person, it's for this person, it's for this person because this feels great and this is what moving forward in life feels like, and so on and so forth, a family, a potential, a future, this and that. This is what I really want. And deep down, of course, I knew that I was forsaking it myself. But I've been like, this is me freshly being burned off of a opportunity that I didn't get to have, or events and dealing with people in the city where it's like, okay, this is where me being an artist, uh, it brought me to these places and it hurt me. So forget it. I'll just fall into this person. And yeah, that didn't work out too well because now this person ends up leaving because I'm putting them on a pedestal, as far as I was told. And then it got to a point where it's like, damn, now I'm like, the foundation that I made for myself through somebody else has been like ripped under me right after I felt like, the foundation I built for myself art wise was ripped under me. So now I'm in like a whole new territory. And usually it's times like that where I do want to challenge myself as far as like with a physical demanding thing, as far as like working out, or that's where the semen retention will start, or that's where I get into my bat cave mode for real and just like start studying or just falling into something just so I don't have to fall into myself, to where once I get into that kick, once I get into that, kind of, you could say, well, it's not a kind of, it's almost like the monks that do like the flogging,
Mhm.
self-flogging, self-hurting. You get into, instead of like doing it in like a way that's like drinking or getting into drugs or anything like that, I fall into something that like will build me at the same time. And then once I kind of get out of that, the emotions, the like the pain body of it all, where I can think again. Now it's time to like really start assessing like how to connect back to self in a way that's like what I feel is honest, and how I talk about art, that being in that higher conversation naturally all over again. So that's when getting back into breathing, getting back into earthing, well, grounding. Um, Once again, as we talk about the semen retention, um, like I said, reading books and just studying like how do I fix the machine of me right now in a more pathological, logical kind of sense. Because if I'm here and I want to be here, there's a B C D E F G, step process to get to that. I want to find that way, but at the same time, too, Bruce Lee says it. Um, you have to be in a state of a unnatural naturalness or a natural unnaturalness. I'm doing things logically, but I know that there's light in the dark and there's dark in the light. So to do things logically, sometimes you got to do things unlogically, or like spiritually, so to speak, if that's considered the opposite. So I know it's an ABC thing, but life does all kinds of shit. So let's not ABC until something moves. And then when something moves, something shakes. All right, ABC. All right, can't do it yet. Oh, some crazy shit. Okay. C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. All right, something's going on. But yeah, it got to a point where like I finally, once I finally start feeling my groove, uh yeah, things really start looking like really positively. And then that's when that person came up in my life again. And I felt that test by getting back into that relationship, and things happened again the same way that they did. But Now it's at a point where the emotions have turned into observation of patterns to where now it's not the 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 excitement of the drama of, oh, heartbreak and oh, this and that, and victimizing myself and what I did and what that person did. She should have, I could have did this, and like now that's kind of like it's been done. So now it's just something to observe, and with that, the thrill of feeling the emotion of like something painful, but yet feeling something goes down, and now things get very more methodical. Method what's the word? Methodical. I think that's it. How you say it, right? But yeah,
Methodical is like it's not necessarily logical, but it is within a pattern
yeah,
of yeah.
yeah,
So let me ask you a question because you said a lot and that was great. Perfect actually. So I want to say thank you that you said a lot, right? Because I like to ask a lot of questions. I have to be mindful of the time too, or we're great on
yeah.
time. All
Cool.
right. You mentioned how after the first breakup with her, that you was getting back into earthing, grounding, breathing, and the semen retention in a way of like, when the monks go and they're whipping themselves. So did you go into it with kind of wanting to punish yourself because of any shame, fear, guilt, like those types of emotions coming up to the surface? Was that something that you just naturally, it sounds like you kind of already naturally kind of go into that's a pattern of yours, but I don't want to assume that that's a pattern of yours. I'm just going based on like what you were sharing, right?
Right.
So before I ask the second question, I'm just going to kind of, because I know I like to ask a lot of questions back to back. So I'm going to ask that part
Mhm.
first.
Uh, yeah. So, because that's what I was mentioning earlier, where it feels like I've been here a long time ago, this and that. It's like there's a large part of myself feels like I'm here to just observe this world through the body, so to speak. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people feel that way. But where like the things that, like I mentioned before, there's a light in the darkness and there's a dark in the light, where it gets to a point I'm starting to recognize that there is a beauty in the pain, so to speak, and not to talk about like a masochism or whatnot, but like as far as that goes back with the art, that the process.
Well, I was thinking specifically like getting into your process with like the semen retention and the earth, like
Right.
getting back into earthing, getting back
Yeah.
into that. You described it as a way of like when a monk is beating itself up. So
Right.
I'm asking if that process in itself is a process that is kind of like masochist, like a masochist to itself, right? Like, is it as a form of punishment? Like you feel shame and guilt, and so you're like, I'm going to suppress my semen. I'm gonna suppress my sexual urges and recenter myself because there's like shame and guilt? Or is it more like, that sensation of just trying to get back to yourself?
Both. It starts, well, I can't even say it fully starts from the shame and guilt phase, but it's just the being in a dark place. You want to feel something, and so it's like to feel something that like in the same way that people start fights,
Mhm.
where you don't care if you win or lose, you just want to like you don't have access to higher vibrations as far as like you don't know how to be happy, but you know how to be at least angry because that's better than feeling nothing at all. So I'll rather, get to that to escape this. So that's what I was saying as far as like, and observing because a lot of you making me recognize that, I'm doing a lot of my whole situation is observation. But just observing how that pattern, why does that emotion exist this way and what happens when fill in the blank some form of experimentation of some sort and not say it's fully like, let's experiment if I do this or that. Da, 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 da. It's like a damn, this is some bullshit. Da 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 da. Da. I wish that all right, just you out of fucking pocket, you asshole. A lot of like self hatred and this and that. Just get right. Just get right, and you'll be right. And da 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 da. And so once, like I said, once that emotion finally like becomes just a breeze, it finally just becomes like a thing that happened, so to speak. That's when it's like, okay, now I'm breathing, now I'm back to stasis. All right, I'm on the right path here. Let's see where this takes me for real though. So and that's where I asked you guys on the last live about just the way women do things and the feminine aspect because there was a lot of things in that relationship also seeing things from like a woman's perspective of how hard I can be. I'm not going to say just masculine, but like how hard I could be on myself and how my upbringing and how just the way I had to learn things on my own, so to speak, how that brought me in a place of like, okay, the work, the progress, the methodology, the progression, but there's a whole like curtain reveal of yeah, but love and enjoyment of life and pleasure and just enjoying yourself and loving yourself. What about that? It's like, hmm. I mean, I enjoy stuff, and it's like, but you could enjoy stuff more and let yourself, go. But I don't want to like just let myself off the leash, though. I that still holds me, accountable to quality of like, yeah, but relax. It's not, just take a breath and enjoy, feeling the dirt on in your toes when you do the grounding. Like I said, do like a self care day and this and that, and enjoy, the smells of this and this and that. Just lighten up. And it's like I miss that. I can see how that's necessary. Okay, we'll add that to the mix. I'm still gonna do it the way I was doing it, but we're gonna now we're gonna equate this now and see how that instantly turns back into like a methodological masculine process. So on and so forth. But
Have you ever considered maybe doing it a different way than you've always done it before?
yeah. I would like to. Um, I feel as
Other
though
than adding on to what you're already doing?
yes, I feel as though there's still something to gain. Or no, I wouldn't say gain because that sounds like using. There's still something to learn within the way I'm doing it, and and I'm glad because if I didn't do anything, I wouldn't get to this point of learning like the way I'm doing it is the wrong way, so to speak. But
Who tells you what is right and wrong, and why is using something or gaining something that has to be put in like a? Because when you said that, right, you was like gain, and then you kind of backed up from that, right? Like if you don't use yourself, how can others truly utilize you? in the ways that is pleasurable to you and others. And you can answer that now, or you can answer that later. Maybe reflect on that if you want to. But you should be able to gain from yourself. I mean, I'm not going to tell people what they should or shouldn't do, but I believe that it is beautiful when someone gains from themselves, right? And the same way we lose ourselves, right? Like sometimes we have to completely lose the versions of ourselves that we think we need to hold on to in order to gain this other version of ourselves that we haven't been tapping into. We haven't used those abilities before. We haven't used those perceptions, those ideas, those um, frequencies of energy before, so we didn't know how to utilize them. And how could sometimes people see it in us, and we feel like depleted because they're using us. Mind you, they're utilizing the energies that we're not using, right, for ourselves. They're utilizing this. Are you able to utilize yourself? Do you feel like you're allowed to continue on your journey? I'm trying to find the right way to word this question, so bear with me, y'all. I know those of y'all that are like listening, if y'all have questions, put them down, because we do have to like close out in like another 15 minutes. So put your questions down there, but just give me a moment to like, okay. And in order for me to ask the question that I would like to ask, I kind of have to ask this, right? You mentioned about people pleasing before. Since you've been on your journey of like the semen retention and finding yourself again, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have you been able to find pleasure in pleasing yourself rather than always people? Are you still people pleasing, externalizing your energy? Are you internalizing it now, pleasing yourself?
Well, all right, I have to rephrase that. Not people pleasing. I'm just saying as a lover, I'm a pleaser. Like I like, service, acts of service and things like that. As far as like, especially when it comes to sex and things like that, I'm a giver. I do the things. I can receive, but I like to do the things. But to answer your question, yeah, there has been within uh, the restraint, within the moments of tenseness, or within the moments that's like, difficult, so to speak. uh it's caused me to like really sit in the feeling, because even speaking, now you made me recognize that. I'm like, wow, every time I'm mentioning something, it's always like an escape out of it, an escape out of feeling like this or feeling like that, so on and so on. Where it's with this phase of now, to speak solely on semen retention, kind of was like all over the place away from it. But to speak on that aspect, um, it really sits you in and zones you in on like, what exactly am I feeling, and like, how do I visualize this feeling, like where is it in my body, and what do I feel when I think of what I'm experiencing. Oh, it feels like a dent. It feels like energy's being choked. And it's like, all right, well, how would you feel, how would you release that? How would it how would it feel to have that energy flow? Like, what are you expecting to happen when that energy flows? And it's like, okay, I would like to feel, you know, like I could breathe again and just have that just release, to where, I can feel, just doing that, I can feel the blood vessels in my palms reaching to my fingertips. And now it's like, okay, you could do that. Now let's go at more, because now we're getting into like deeper visualizations and a form of meditation, if you can say that. But yeah, and that's where the real juice of like the enlightening aspect of the retention like really kicks in, because the pleasure the pleasure is going to happen, and I feel as though doing this is to just why I mentioned once again me feeling like I'm a old soul just observing life and this and that. It's like the pain is a part of the process of life, and I know, I'm not telling anybody or teaching anybody anything. I'm just saying, as far as like my observations, is that
We all don't know nothing. You teaching us everything.
okay, then appreciate it. Then let me go ahead and teach. But the observations of being alive in this vehicle, in this reality, for the sake of gaining more light for whatever comes next, and seeing this thing called pain, and to witness the trick that time plays with pain. Once you like, once you're in it, you can't see out of it until you're finally past it, and you see like, what, that wasn't so bad, and so on and so forth. Or like when you're a kid and you seen that the things that happened to you back then built you to who you are now. Or like, man, I'm glad that what a lot of people say, I'm glad I got my ass whooped by my mom, because I needed that to keep me, this and that, da 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 da. To where you know you a lot of times you can't control, or you don't want to control, when you have a life altering moment of pain that creates you into the person that you need to become. Because who wants that shit? It's all, once again, the time, the trick that times plays with pain is that it's good in the past. You don't want to have it now, and you damn sure, like, you could probably like throw it off in the future and let that be future me's problem, but you damn sure don't want it now, especially if you don't know how painful it's going to be. So to do the semen retention is like really it's like just having a sense of breath and having a sense of control, in the sake of, once again, this is why I mentioned the timelessness, and like being, time, the yoga of time control, yeah, time travel and all that. You taking yourself out of time, you taking yourself out of reality, and you're just witnessing what comes out of it. Because once again, like I said with the paintings, where there's things that happened way back when I do stuff now, that like you mentioned before, like I met you off of painting through a goddess or whatnot. I You remember that goddess? I have no idea what that picture even looks like, and could I replicate it? Sure, so on and so forth. But it's just the fact that there's rippling effects in these little moments of past, present, and future that have like a whole effect throughout our lives, from something that happened way back then to an action now. And it just so happens that once that thing that inspired the action presently, the result of the present thing shows itself back up, shows itself back up in the future, is like, that's that timelessness, that a whole, you know if you take yourself back to your original state, back to that sense of source. Time is a straight up and down, it's light. You talk about when you started this with speaking about unity, and like, if you separate it, you can find yourself another life, so to speak, is as far as what you were saying. But what I'm coming to know uh is that I'm looking I have a saying that I tell myself a lot is that my enemies aren't human. Like I have no person that's a problem to me per se. It's the energies that I'm seeing are the my diametric opposition.
Mhm.
That's where I clash at. And I'm looking at what does that mean? And not to sound too spiritual or whatever, bear with me, but reading the Emerald Tablets and seeing that Hermes Trismegistus, uh, he was saying that if you sleep to the north an hour a day and sleep to the south an hour a day, like you can gain immortality. And that once he had did that and astral traveled outside of his body, that he went to the edge of reality. He was about to escape reality completely and wholeheartedly, but it was these beasts, which it was like dog-like creatures, lion-like creatures, the guardians, there that pushed him and kept him still bound in reality. And the only way he could, escape them was moving in angles. And I'm like, hmm. And so, and then bear with me, guys. I'm going on a journey here. Um, Looking into the Hebrew alphabet and how that originated was through. It said that God was looking to give, language, and He found these characters of light, and basically went backwards from their form of Z to A, and know hey, choose me to be the first, letter in the alphabet because, I make this word. And it's like, well, you also make this word, so no, so on and so forth. But it's like, once again, the angles and light, angles and light, angles and light. And all I could think of is like, like I said before, time is quote unquote light. And so, yeah, seeing, how we speak and how, like, there's certain patterns because observing patterns like royal, regal, reign, roar, religion. Just the R has a whole bunch of commonalities, and there's a whole bunch of commonalities with a whole bunch of different words, and how I'm looking at letters and numbers and how they have these similarities and how they have these same patterns of like quote unquote locking people down and locking the brain down because we created these constructs that aren't real. I can't grab real. I can't grab the letter R and give you a R. I can't give you an inch and I got a whole bunch of inches. That's something that we created, but they're so real that go through life without knowing what an inch is or knowing what, letters are or numbers are. It's very difficult. But that's the illusion. And so
Be like water.
there you go. But to finally recognize that, oh my God, there's these things. But at the end of it all, I come to the conclusion of it's that Pink Floyd album, Dark Side of the Moon, the pyramid, the prism with the light going through it, turning, to rainbows. That division of light, as far as for me and what I'm observing at this moment in time, that division of light is the enemy. It's to believe that there is a division between that pure stream of light to where okay, because I'm blue, purple, and green aren't that's the ops. Fuck them sides. It's all about blue. Or well, I come from red, and red is on top actually, so this and that. And it's like, no, actually indigo is. And it's like, no, actually, you're all the same color, just on different spectrums because you all come from source. And it's like, once again, that's on just that beginning aspect of it all. We're not even getting to the point of like molecules and atoms and, regions, time and space creating more divisions of those, light spectrums till now here we are. So there's a lot of illusion based on light and based just on that this key split. And so anytime,
Your semen was teaching you all of this?
huh?
Your semen taught you all of this?
uh it helps reinforce that learning. It helps reinforce that, okay, this pain is caused by a separation. Where is that separation inside of myself? And how do I, not avoid it anymore, but really like, let me, where is the shaking starting and this and that. It's the same way of like what's it called? Troubleshooting a machine, or
Mhm.
there's air coming out of your tire. All right, let's blow, whatever air or water in it just to see where the hole is shooting out at. And
Mhm.
it's like, okay, now that we recognize where's the hole, how do we fix the hole? Okay, let's do this to fix it. No, let's do that to fix it. No, okay, da, 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 da. But it's like, the semen retention is the like, it's putting a spotlight on, okay, there's a problem here. All right. Let's just don't run from it, because you just got to get a hold of it. Got to get a hold of it. Got to get a hold of it. This is all an illusion. If this is all fake in your spirit, and we all come from source. Fuck that though. I want to bust a nut like a motherfucker, man. Fuck. Ooh, take a nap. Do something. Shit. Just bring it back. Bring it back. Bring it back. Bring it back. Why do you feel the need to bust a nut? What are you trying to what are you running from? Why do you feel you need to, call so and so up? What are you trying to avoid? Why are you avoiding this? What are you scared of? Because you're avoiding something. Shit. Why am I avoiding shit? Whew, okay. Okay, let's get up and walk, and let's get some thoughts going. What's the problem here? What's the problem here? So yeah, that's what
We're
yeah, that's what's going on with
not
that.
even done. I'm so grateful for you. I know there's like so many more we can talk about. We might have to have you back. We probably gonna have to do a part two. Are you open for a part two? Because I'm pretty sure there's people that want to ask questions, but I gotta honor my time and like things that I have to
Mhm.
get done. So with Awakening with Sandra, we are all divine. We are all wholeness. We are seeking itself as form. Yes, Ashe. Oh my God, Joseph, like you literally just, I mean, everybody put some blasting lights, whatever emoji comes to your expression of this live. Let's give the brother some love. Make sure that y'all are following him. There's a downward arrow right there that you can click on. Make sure you're following him. Go check out his art. Support
Mhm.
him. Support him. He is a beautiful divine creator. Um,
Thank you, thank you.
we have to have you back. You just shared so much information in such a short amount but timeless time. Oh my God. And I just love how you did that in such an intricate way, but also like, you know, it didn't sound like banter. It wasn't overwhelming. It wasn't it as much as it was quote unquote like all over the place. So you were saying it was exactly how you mentioned with Bruce Lee talking about the natural unnaturalness or the unnatural naturalness, right? Letting that flow in there. So, uh, brothers, if y'all haven't already, like if y'all are practicing semen retention, I would like y'all to like DM me and also hit up the brother. Maybe show some brotherly love. Y'all might have some great conversations, some builds that y'all can connect with, maybe some breathwork techniques. I actually want to talk to you about that live next time when you're able to come. Um, to kind of share with the people, like, since you were talking about breath work and like kind of recentering like what that looks like, if there's certain breath works that you can like share with people, if you're interested in sharing that, of course.
Okay.
I can't find him to wait, I can't find him. What is going on? Can you put a comment down so I can pin your name in the bottom and everybody will be able to click on your name? He should be
Gotcha.
able, yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. But if
That's
anything, what
me.
I, yes. And I will be posting this live, and so in the description I'll put his information as well. So, I'll put his cash up if y'all want to send a donation and support his art, or if you just want to, check out his page, get some art from him. Um, yeah, and I would like to have you and maybe some other brothers also, tapping in, talking more about semen retention. Sisters, I'm not forgetting about y'all. We're going to be getting into goddess energy also. I really love being in the divine frequency of wholeness. And so I just needed to have the brother on here to express, like, sexual energy can be used in so many different ways. And if you were really paying attention, like, he spoke about pleasure, he spoke about pain body, he spoke about emotional body, he spoke about breath work, he spoke about grounding, he spoke about the journey in itself with his creativity and his art and everything. All the while, that's all channeling sexual energy, even though we didn't really get into the whole like kinks of it and everything like that, right? And so that, I think it's really important for people to allow themselves to look at their sexual energy in such a way that it's really surrounding their life, but they may not even be aware of how much of it is surrounding their life and how it's surrounding their life. So I thank you again for like taking us through the journey of your experience. And do you have any final words for anyone?
Um, Final words for everyone. Um, I would say, hey, figure out your balance. You know, um, for me, I'm a three baby for some reason, born March 13th, 1993, third one born, third apprentice to my tattoo, ship
Today's the
apprenticeship,
third.
number three, all over. There you go. And for me, I learned that the number three is like the first letter, well, the first number with balance, a middle path, so to speak. And very connected with the Tahuti energy. And that just so happens to be, um, uh, uh, a relationship with my aunt, balance. Just so happens that my mother is a Libra and my dad is a Scorpio. So, like, justice and equality is like a whole thing in my thing. So I learned that balance is, you know, is all about balance. You got to have your good, you got to have your evil, you got to have your this and that because we're in this existence not to placate to the rules of whatever systems that be in this thing, but you're in this thing because you put yourself here. And it's more to it than just sticking to something that you were taught. So figure out who your enemy is, your diametric opposition, and see what you can learn from that. That's basically here to give you the lesson of being in this existence, so to speak, if I was to take it there. But yeah, find your balance.
Mhm. Thank you so much again, everyone. If you have any questions moving forward for the next live, You can please send them to DM. I'm sorry we didn't have enough time to do Q&A, but it was just too juicy not to. I didn't want to keep interrupting his journeys because it was just so much. It was so good. I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful. May you all have a great rest of the night. Share the live. I'm gonna replay with everyone, so be sure that to share it. Actually, would it be cool if I shared this on the YouTube channel also?
By all
Do you
means,
have a YouTube channel?
not at all.
Okay, okay, cool. Well, I'm gonna share this on YouTube also, so that way we can send it off to those that don't have Instagram and anyone that is interested in like learning more about this information, because you broke it down so easy that a child can understand what you're saying, but it's really deep. It's really deep. So thank you everyone again, and y'all have a good night. Wholeness.
Peace.